Why are they different
Why
buttons?
is there a bug?
We're going to be having another conversation about Harry Potter.
It was the bottom of my shoe. That was not a good...
No.
There you go. Harry Potter has books and films and then general... and then theme park and then general pop culture presence.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your first experience with the books? When did you...
After the first movie came out, I had no idea the books even were out. Ironically, me working and volunteering at a library had no idea about these books until this movie trailer came out. I was like, oh, that looks fun. And then I was like, oh, it's a book. I guess I should read that thing. As a kid, I was like, I could spend hours and days reading this or 2 watching this movie. So it was like, from a time consumption point of view, I was like, movie, obviously this makes the most sense. But then when you see all the things that, go askew in the franchise, specifically, book 5, what a mess. You have to look, and reading is important, and that's all. I'm going to be very blunt and straightforward on that. Reading is important.
Reading
the books
is
are
important.
Great.
My relationship with the books is a little weirder. I first became aware of them in about 2002, 2003. My mom had heard about them, and somebody had said, oh my god, like Katie needs to read these. And at that point in time, because I was about 11 or 12, and at that point in time, my mom would check something before she gave it to me. It wasn't that, it's hard because I say that and that sounds super sheltering, but it was just sort of just double check something before she immediately handed it off to me. So for Harry Potter, she read the first chapter, just to get a sense of the book. She read the first chapter, she had a nightmare, she said, nope, this book is not for you right now. And she said right now, she wasn't saying you can never read this book. It was just that it was hey, at your age, because I was a lot jumpier as a kid, so she was
As a kid.
So she said, based on how I reacted to the material and how I know you, this is not a you book right now. And I went, okay. So I didn't read the books, and then they got popular, and I was like, then I got spiteful.
Because when things get popular, you just kind of want, at least for me, and I think you too, you kind of just want to be like, oh, okay, this thing is taking control, and I really don't want to. It's like when a new ride opens and it gets or Frozen. I'll use Frozen as an example. Frozen, as a film, was a great film.
Yeah.
It took off. It did a lot of things for the animation industry and everything.
Yeah.
However, if you were in Orlando, you have to deal with every theme park show, every character thing, everything being merchandising. Everything was thrown into the parks, and it was overstimulating. It was overexposure. So by the time, within the first year of that movie being out, everyone was over it.
Sick of it.
So I think that was the same thing as I don't want to get involved in something that's
as its popularity takes off.
Yeah.
2009, I knew I had been accepted to the Disney College program, and I was moving to Orlando. Mm-hmm. And I knew that within a year of me arriving, the theme park section was going to open at Universal. And I have been fascinated with theme park design at that point in time. My career goal was to be in the theme park design industry. I need to be familiar with the original source material in order to better critique the theme park. So I went to a friend who was just head over heels in love with Potter, and I said, I am ready. So I watched the first movie, and I was like, We watched 2 through 5 in a day and a half. She sent me home with the books. I started on a Tuesday and finished the series on Sunday with a double read of Deathly Hallows, because that one, my problem with books when they get really you get really worked up, and I start skipping entire paragraphs because I just want to know what happens next. So a lot of times, the last book in a series, I have to read it twice because I don't get any of the details on the first pass. I just get a bare, basic description of the thing that happened.
A bear.
And then that was when the 6th movie came out, so I went and saw that in theaters a week or so later. That is also when I first dipped into Twilight. I did both of those the same summer. Now, that is at the same time, within a couple of weeks, actually, of a Harry Potter musical being posted. So I watched all of that, because once I get into something, I look up everything related to it on the internet. And I found a Harry Potter musical right after it had been uploaded. And so based on when I watched that with when I consumed the material originally, those things are really tied in my brain. Universal has the Hogsmeade that opened first at Islands of Adventure, and then, you know, many years down the road, you got Diagon Alley over at Universal Studios.
Original recipe. In New York City, there is currently, at the time of this upload, a show. I don't know how long it's going to be up there. It's been doing really well.
Yeah.
There is a show off Broadway, a parody of Harry Potter entitled Puffs.
Guess who it's about?
It's about the Ravenclaws.
It's about the Hufflepuffs, because we're the best.
It's about
We're the
Puffs
best.
brand tissues.
Puffs brand tissues do show up in the show.
Yes.
In a beautiful, beautiful use of branded merchandise. Puffs focuses on what the background characters were doing over the course of the 7 years that the original stories take place. They do a really spectacular job at breaking down both adaptation errors when the books were made into films, plot holes, things that didn't really work in the in the original pass at the story. It also really cements the idea of what is a Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
A Harry Potter musical went a very derogatory route with Hufflepuffs. They gave us like one line and then said, that's enough. All of the other houses got a really defined character trait, and then Hufflepuff, like, particularly through phrasing, didn't get as strong of a character trait, and I'm really mad because the word diligence sums up so much.
Yeah.
Diligence or dedication. Usually they go with loyalty, and it's like, that's not...
Puffs is great. It's a fantastic show.
We have lots of experience with Harry Potter parodies, though, as we have written and produced 2 different parodies.
Currently at the time of this upload.
The first parody was called Give Back to Hogwarts, and its tagline was 7 books, 90 minutes, only slightly abridged. Due to a couple of different projects shifting in our timeline, we had to write the script for Give Back in 3 days.
And we did it, and most of it stayed, and there were a couple small tweaks that were made, but it was...
The bulk of the bulk of the decisions that we made in that 3-day writing hell made it all the way through to the final production. It ran in Orlando. We then took it to Tampa Bay Comic-Con. We went with a more music-based route to really set things apart, whether that was taking a song and adjusting it to fit the character, or finding a song that was a perfect fit for a character or situation and allowing the comedy to play out through that. Our general first example is Harry and Draco don't like each other, so they sing What Is This Feeling from Wicked.
We do a community outreach portion within most of our shows. So the community outreach portion for Give Back to Hogwarts, and why it was titled Give Back to Hogwarts, was we were raising school supplies for Children's Home Society, which is a local foster care facility support system.
The opening night sold out, closing night sold out. We added seats, we sold those out.
That was good.
We packed it up and we brought it to Tampa Bay Comic-Con. One of our volunteers at the door, who had a little clicker and was counting people as they came in, and we had over 500 people come in. And then we maintained, for the length of the show, an audience of, I'd say, around 350.
So then in March of 2018, we got this wonderful surprise, which was, hey, do you want to come and perform Give Back to Hogwarts in New York City? And we went, yes, we're going to do that. However, they were requesting music that was live as opposed to edited tracks, because people are paying X amount of money, they expect live music. And I said, great, well, you can't have this show because those tracks are so intricately edited, I cannot possibly figure out even remotely how to do sheet music for all of these tracks. Like, it's not going to happen.
We also had a significantly smaller stage.
Yeah.
We had a smaller time frame, and we needed to be able to transport all of the props to New York. So the combination of all of those elements meant that we basically went back to the drawing board and came up with a similar and related show, but what was
completely
indeed a separate creative process. So that is called Harry-oke, Hogwarts Cabaret. The general concept is it's open mic night at Hogwarts, and the various students and professors and other magical individuals have all gotten up to say their piece to music with a microphone. As we've done Harry-oke several times now, each time there have been little tweaks like here and there so that each performance has not been exactly the same as the previous.
Well, you have to. A theater piece is alive, and you need, when you see the problems, you need to fix them.
And that's what's different between all of these theatrical parodies that are happening and the original source material of the books and the movies, where you can't go back and you can't change the books and the movies afterwards. The theme parks also exist in that living, breathing, constant state of change.
I mean, as we've seen, the Dragon's Ride is now closed and is being transformed into something else. Jaws, Zaria, transform. And that's just general theme park rule, is that theme parks are ever changing and they're going to consistently change. So yeah, Harry Potter's made a very large impact on our lives, whether personal or professional. We've been able to do a lot of projects and a lot of discussions and make a lot of friends because of Harry Potter.
It's opened a lot of doors.
A lot of you out there have also had similar situations, and we'd love to hear about those.
Yeah.
So if you want to
comment,
in the bottom,
and like, and share, and subscribe.
Oh, that one. That's the one where if I do that, then I get notified when there's a new video up.
Well, if you want notifications that there's a new video,
ding-a-ling?
you have to hit the button. You have to hit the bell, yes.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed our little discussion. Our little discussion being, I don't know how long this video is. It's a long video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye. I don't know what this is.